What can I add? You've seen the video, you've heard Sheikh speak, you've seen the photographs. I can't adorn that with any greater show of the magnificence that we had there in Seoul. It was an enormous privilege for me to be there, and it was tremendously exciting. And I think you gathered something of that. I mean, it's not just the panoply and the show and the razzmatazz, which was all great and very nice, but just seeing so many former heads of state and indeed existing ones, President Hun Sen, for example, and people like that who were there, bringing together thousands of people from across the world, all with a common purpose of trying to discover different ways of trying to examine peace in the world. And remember, many of those people were coming from deeply troubled regions where they've seen in their own lifetime bloodshed, conflict, and the tragedy that is caused as a result of division between peoples. So they spoke with real understanding of these issues, and I think we all listen to them very, very carefully. They have a very great vested interest in peace because they are less fortunate than we, because they see the conflict every day in their lives. And there are many of you here this evening who've come from those regions, who have close friends or family in those regions where that conflict is continuing. And so it was extremely exciting to see all those people gathered together, dialoguing, talking to one another. I also had a photograph of myself with the Iranian and the Israeli flag drawn across my chest. And that is an aspiration to which we must all seek to find a solution in the troubled Middle East. And some of you will know part of our program this year with the Universal Peace Federation here in the UK is to have an examination of that trouble in the Middle East and see if there is some way we can seek to find some way, some pathway towards a solution there. But I think, for me, the abiding memories of that week were, first of all, my love of ballet, and that was so fantastically performed. I mean, you only saw a snippet of it, but it was a beautiful production of a lovely, meaningful ballet about a girl who honored her father above everything else in the world and carried forward the concept of family values. But it was beautifully executed, and frankly, any one of those dancers could appear on the stage at Covent Garden and do great justice to their talent as ballet dancers. So there was the culture, but it was, I think, the abiding impression, and the lasting one for me, was this question of bringing people together across the world who all seek peace. And it's only when we excite that kind of dialogue, it's only when we facilitate people coming together in that way that you can actually talk across the nations and across the divides and talk to one another. I mean, I had an extraordinary conversation over a meal with somebody from Kosovo, who's based in Pristina, who now runs an association to help the victims of torture and those who were incarcerated during the Balkan Troubles, and I've subsequently been in email correspondence with him. And it's those contacts that you make, the way that you can then further them up by email exchange or whatever, that you begin to actually widen your world to such an extent that actually that very process itself enables you to be a far better ambassador for peace. So thank you to UPF for giving me the opportunity and the privilege of going to Seoul. I hope that I've learned a great deal from it. I feel I have, but my greatest aspiration is I hope I will be able to carry the inspiration that I gathered from that week into some really practical action. So thank you all very much.